Yeah.
SNN Street News Now.
And welcome to the show. I'm Lee Michaels, along with the gang here today. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm feeling good. Knock on wood, no COVID here. Whew. Boy, is it going down or what? It's amazing what's going down and around the world with all this COVID stuff. People are still dying. The last time I checked before coming on the air was approaching 3,000 people dead just today. And today isn't over. So I don't know what to tell you. Just be safe out there, people. Don't let this thing get you going, and protect your family members, please. Make that a priority. I don't care what people say. Wear the damn mask. Double bag that nose, you know. It's like pretend it's a condom and you're having sex with someone for the first time. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So until we know, take care of yourself. Put on the mask, okay? Welcome to the show, guys. How y'all doing today? Chris?
Yes, boom shakalaka. How you doing, fellow horsemen?
I'm rocking. I'm ready. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to talk about several things tonight. I figure we'd touch base on the impeachment. It's in the hands of the Senate now, and we'll see what happened. I mean, the many of the pundits are saying that it ain't going to happen. He's not going to get convicted. And I think there'll be a sad day in America, just like the last time. Just look at it this way. And I'm not going to jump on it for a long period of time. But we had a chance a little over a year ago to get rid of this clown. And the Republicans in the Senate gave him a pass. So look at where we are now. He went buck wild for the last year. He was on steroids. So now you got another chance at taking this guy out of the game. And he deserves to be taken out of the game. Now, that's my opinion. Okay, I'm not a journalist. I'm doing some commentary. It's my damn opinion. And it's based on facts. Okay, that's what I speak from, facts, the real deal. So based on everything that he has said and done, and the poor job as a president, and anybody that thinks that he's done a great job, shame on you. Because what has he done to help your life? Has he changed your life in any way, shape, form, or fashion? I think not. That's what I think. Because what has changed? My life has gotten worse. I had a thriving business back in 2019. I was going to expand my business in 2020 and several other states around the country. Didn't happen. Okay? The transportation industry is dead. We went from 40 to 50 rides a day in the limo business to 3 or 4 rides a week. That's dead. That is like critical. The patient is on the table, and we're giving them mouth to mouth. We're pounding on the chest to keep that patient alive. And it's a struggle right now. You know, you still got insurance payments, car payments, and the state tax board you got to pay and keep your licenses up and all that stuff. So we still have business to take care of without the income to cover it. So what happens? I have to eat beans and franks a lot. You know,
You ain't by yourself, brother.
you got to cut somewhere. Ain't no going out and shit.
You ain't by yourself. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm speaking reality here. You know, maybe some people are doing okay. I know here in Las Vegas, where I'm hanging out, is the hotels and the casinos open 3 to 4 days a week. What does that tell you? Las Vegas. There's people not coming here. They're not traveling like they used to. So that being said, that's what this president allowed to happen because he lied about COVID-19. If he was straight up, and maybe you need to scare the hell out of people to make them do the right thing. And then every damn holiday, y'all get buck wild. You got to go and get on a plane or boat, train, drive across country, whatever. Stop it. Just stop. Wait a minute. Slow down, Jim Shoe. Don't rush to fail. Come on. We're at the apex right now. I hope we're at the worst. Some of the scientists said, no, we ain't hit the top yet. Hang on to what you got. So, that being said, this president does not deserve to go away with a clean record. He did a poor job. If this was corporate America, if this was somebody working for his chump ass, they would have been fired a long time ago. What do you guys think?
Well,
right or wrong?
Well, absolutely correct. And they have to consider the whole thing. First of all, he should be impeached thoroughly so that he would not run in 2024. And not only that, when you are the president, when you are a post-president, you have the perks. For example, you're given certain intel. He does not need that. He can sell the intel to his boss Putin or Kim Jong-un or whoever else he wants to sell it to because he has access to it. That should be cut off immediately because he's a danger to our society and a danger to other countries by possibly giving them intel.
Yeah. And, you know, the sad thing about it is those 70 million folks that are still standing with him, that are still drinking the Kool-Aid, think that they are now going to rise up and attack the existing government to overthrow it. They still feel like there's a reason and a purpose to do this, you know, and no matter how many times people say that you are following and getting stirred up over a lie, how many times people say they are still trying to, you know, stand on what he has told them. You know, people don't believe they're being lied to. You know, they're like, oh, no. Trump wouldn't lie. He lied every day for 4 years. Every day, sometimes 3-4 times a day for 4 years. And it's very difficult for them to swallow that, you know. And, you know, those lies have got them, man, they just can't accept the fact that he was lying. You know, unbelievable. You know,
I concur with you, Dr. Ron, and Chris Bass, and you, Dr. Lee. Everything. Listen, I want to wake up from this nightmare, right, and not be involved with this type of. I want to be out since this cat is out of sight. I want to get this cat out of my mind, but the media. And we're gonna keep talking about this dude. It's like an avalanche now thing. He's gonna start off with a little piece of snow, and next thing you know, it's getting ready to get huge by the time it gets to the ground. We gotta just stop this cat by ignoring this cat. Okay. Every other day, we're still reaching back to what he did. You know what I want to say. You know exactly, y'all know exactly what I want to say. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be cool. But you all know exactly what I want to say. And we just got to move this cat out of. The most important thing now is these crazies that's out here now that have drank this Kool-Aid. And this evilness, it didn't start with this dude, man. This has been going on 40 years. It just got festered when what was that other cat, the other actor? that was the president, the actor that was, what was that dude's name?
Was it Ronald Reagan?
Yeah, that's it. The one that was cutting everything, Ray Gun. Okay, so this evil against less fortunate people, it's been going on a long time. It's like nothing new. It's really nothing new. And I wish that I wish the cats would come up and make a new party. They would do something. So a new type of ideology would come out. Because now these cats, all they want to do is talk about, anything the Democrats say, they just want to jump on it because the person is a Democrat. Where's any compromises going on? We won't be able to do everything if you stay on your side of the room all the time and I'm staying on my side of the room all the time. We got to come to the center to make some sense that too many people are hurting, man. Too many people are suffering right now.
A lot of discussion about the mere existence of the Republican Party. Many are forecasting that there's going to be a split in the party. Those that are these nutball whack job extremists will continue to follow the ideology of Trump. And there's talk about him starting a patriot party. What does that mean? That means that you won't see 70 million votes on behalf of the Republicans. If there's a split in the Republicans, you may never have another Republican president. Mm-hmm. If that split lasts. I submit, though, that these extremists that got behind Trump and running around here kicking in windows and doors and stuff at the Capitol, those are part of the Tea Party, the extremists from the far right, the just evil, nasty, mean-spirited, non-government believing type people. They don't give a damn about the Republicans or the Democrats. Mm-hmm. They're the extremists that want their freedom, their way, and they don't want to hear it from nobody. Although many of them are living on social programs. So that being said, I just don't know how the Republican Party is going to move forward with any kind of strong base. Hey, I'm not a Republican, so I don't really care, because they have never, ever in my lifetime given me a reason to even consider being a Republican. Nothing that they have done in my lifetime has really benefited me personally. I've always worked hard. They didn't give me a job. Many of the Republican-owned broadcast companies I never worked for. Didn't want to, but they never offered me anything. So personally, I don't need you. And I don't hate you. It's just I don't believe in what you believe in. I don't think that you have the human race at heart.
And they don't.
That's it. And it's hypocritical what you believe in.
Yeah. And they really don't. And to sit back and say that we believe in law and order and we don't want the black people to move into our lily white neighborhoods because they're going to be raping our children and robbing our houses, and then turn around and storm the Capitol, with zip ties and guns and knives and all sorts of things, talking about we're going to kill, the vice president and Pelosi and anybody else that get in our way. That's a contradiction of a major sort. Okay. And they worried about, now after the fact, what's going to happen. But they bought it on themselves, as our parents used to tell us, you bought it on yourself, because there's consequences for every action. And, so this is, this whole thing is way out of control. And whether he's going to officially be impeached in the Senate, we'll know in a couple of weeks. because the trial is underway. They're starting the preparation and doing what they got to do in order to have a trial, which I think is a beautiful thing. Let's get it in, get it over with. It's not going to take all year, and do what you should have did, like you say, a year or so ago, Lee. When they should have did it then, and then we wouldn't have had all of this foolishness, going on at the time. So, hey, man, this is where we are,
But
we got a request of someone who wants to join the discussion. I just posted it in, I believe you can see it on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching us, I think you can see that link. Yeah, I'm sure of it because I can see it on my screen here. Yes. So if you want to join our discussion, we welcome you. Go to YouTube and do a search on Street News Now. And I just posted a link there. And if you're watching us on Periscope / Twitter, you can get the link over there as well. Francisco is joining us. How you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you guys doing?
We're rocking and rolling.
All right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
What are your thoughts on what we've been talking about so far?
Aside from my abject horror that we even need to talk about this kind of thing, it's one of those multifaceted conversations that tends to get boiled down to sound bites and these kinds of things. And thankfully, podcasts like yours can expand the conversation to where it needs to be. And one of the things that I find fascinating, and something I learned recently, is the constitutional precedents for barring Trump from, I don't normally call him Trump, I normally call him Dump, but barring Dump from ever running again. It almost doesn't matter whether he gets convicted in the Senate. Because, there you go, because even though in the Senate it takes 2/3 for conviction, to bar him from office based on constitutional precedents that I think first took place in the late 1800s, they only need a simple majority in order to bar him from office. Yep. And they have that. The Democrats have that. So, the focus is on the Senate conviction for impeachment, but it's almost a moot point. That's kind of just procedural at this point. The rest is really going to be about stopping him from running and serving ever again.
Do you think that's going to happen? What do you think the outcome is going to be?
It's a tough one because, there's so much money up for grabs right now, right? Part of the problem with corporate personhood and just the way that the political system is set up, like lobbying, for instance, that's a beautiful sounding word that's just legalized bribery, right? So you've got lobbying, you've got corporate personhood, you've got all this money pouring into the political system, which means that the only people that the system is designed for are the people that are donating. And that comes down to roughly 200,000 people in the most powerful families in America. So, when your donors call, you pick up the phone. So the rest of us are really not even in the conversation. To specifically answer the question, it's hard to say whether it will happen. I think now is as good a time as any to have a chance to pull this off because of the majority that the Democrats have. And that's what I'm holding hope for. If not, as you were discussing earlier, the fact that this new party is going to split the ticket is a wonderful thing. Let them eat their own,
Amen.
Yeah. Francisco, what part of the country are you coming in from?
I am in New Jersey, unfortunately, but I'm a New Yorker, but I happen to be living in New Jersey now for the past 6 years.
I detected the New York accent.
Yeah. I was born in the Dominican Republic, so I'm an immigrant. Lucky I'm here legally, so don't worry. And we moved to Washington Heights when I was 2 years old. So that really was my first home. So I always feel like a New Yorker. But I have, and no matter where I live, even when I lived in Tampa for 2.5 years, I was still a New Yorker. So
What do you know about WBLS?
I know a lot about it because I dated a young lady who has unfortunately passed, named Francesca Spiro. And I know you were at BLS in '96, and I'm not remembering whether she was still there or not. But did you know Francesca Spiro?
The name sounds somewhat familiar.
Yeah, she was in the sales department, but
Yeah.
she also ran shows at the Apollo for them.
Okay. I'm sure.
Yeah, so she did hip hop Saturdays and jazz Sundays. Those were the shows that she did at the Apollo, and I lived with her for a little over 4 years. And during that time, I got to be at BLS, and me. As soon as Laura mentioned your name, I was like, I know that name. Why do I know Lee Michaels? And of course,
Yep.
that's kind of silly in retrospect because you're a legend in broadcasting. But I did recall hearing your name, and as soon as I heard your voice, it was recognizable as well. So I spent some time hanging out in the DJ booth at BLS with Fred Buggs, and one time, I used to speak to Hal Jackson regularly. Met Percy Sutton once. Was in an elevator with Vaughn Harper, and was shocked and delighted to know that the way he spoke in real life was actually how he sounded on the radio.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Those were some fun times. I worked in New York twice. In the mid '70s and then again in the mid '90s. In the '70s, what became Kiss FM. It was a 40 station when I worked there in the '70s. It was called 99X WXLO.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, and
thank you so much.
Don't be a stranger. We appreciate your coming in and commenting, and make this your home.
Oh yeah. No, I'm all over you guys. I watched the year-end broadcast that you did. I actually left a comment there as Francisco. And I'm following you on everywhere I can find you.
All right. I'm also, you can find me down at the Greyhound bus station on the PA system.
Hey, listen, girls got to eat, right?
Right.
Yeah, spread the word. Tell everybody about us.
And Trump came down.
I certainly will.
But I blocked him. I blackballed him from the Greyhound station.
Yeah. Now I got a New York question for you on the other side of the river where you at. Is Marion Caffey still the artistic director at the Apollo?
Oh, that I don't know. The Apollo's like changed hands now. I don't even. I'm pretty sure BLS sold it a while ago. So I worked at the Apollo one summer in '86. I was a gopher. I was the one that set up dressing rooms and stuff, and got to see Millie Jackson and BB King and all that stuff. But Francesca and I broke up in 1990, or well, more precisely, she asked me never to return. So I haven't really been connected to that whole thing in a while.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I got one more question for you. One more question, since I know you've been put out of a woman's house. New York style pizza or Chicago style pizza?
So I cannot comment on that, only because I haven't had Chicago pizza. I had New York's version of Chicago style pizza, so I don't know if that's a fair representation.
All right.
But it's hard to say no to pizza, right? So kind of like, I don't think it makes sense to be a pizza snob, but I'm like that with women too. I don't have a type, which means I have a much bigger palate to work with,
Y'all heard?
Yeah. Well, look, thanks for stopping by, brother.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
It's gonna be naive and ignorant.
No, those days are long behind me. I'm 56 now. Hopefully I've learned to, it's like Muhammad Ali said, if you're the same person at 50 as you were at 20, you wasted 30 years.
That's right. Now, are you in the media in any fashion?
I aspire to be in the media. I am in pre-launch for a podcast, which is called The Persistent Rumor. We've put up a bunch of videos already, but we haven't officially launched. That's coming in March. I figured in the spring things might settle down and, rejuvenation and all that stuff. So somewhere around the first of spring, I'll be launching. The reason why is basically coronavirus. I decided last June to quit my job. I've been in sales since I was 20, and I had been in an industry for 20 years. And then when coronavirus hit and life had to, make a radical adjustment, I just thought to myself, what am I doing? This, paper chasing is just completely unfulfilling. So to me personally, so I just figured, you know what? I love podcasts and I love comedy. I'm kind of funny, I guess. And my friend and I have very funny conversations all the time on the phone. So I thought, hey, why not record them and let the public decide if they're worth anything,
There you go. Step out there. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, keep us informed and come back, as often as you can, and
absolutely
be a part of the show. And by all means, when you have your official launch date, come back and
let us know.
Oh, I will. You'll see me plenty before that. I'm looking to have a standing date with you guys because I really love what you're doing. To me it's a breath of fresh air. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of pundits that have an agenda. I'm not tribal in the sense of being devoted to Democrats or Republicans. I'm a registered independent. But aside from that, I don't care about the vowel sounds that come out of your mouth to describe what you are. I care about what you do. Right. Yeah. So I don't care whether you call yourself a Democrat or call yourself a Republican. What have you done for us lately? That's what I want to know. Exactly. And yes, historically, the Democratic Party has done much better in terms of doing things, to rise the tide so it rises all boats. But they've, I think a mature perspective is when you can say something like, I love what Barack Obama did, but there are a few things he did that I hated. Right? That's fair and balanced. You can't just say someone's all good or someone's all bad. Like Dump is the closest human being that I've ever seen that's all bad. But if you're being fair, you have to admit that he's kind of funny. Right? He's a horrible human being. But he said some things that are kind of funny. That's it. That's the only thing. It's sort of like, even Hitler had a girlfriend, that kind of thing. But I don't care about left and right. I just care about what, and I'm not patriotic at all. I like I said, I'm an immigrant. I have a different perspective on being an American. But I'm aware that I live in a country that actively hates me because of my brown skin. And I've got a litany of experiences that were pretty horrible because of that. So my perspective is different. I can sit back and look at it in a different way and just focus on, what can we do collectively to make things better here rather than focus on what side of the aisle you're sitting on. Because I just think that's nonsense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I like your perspective, and
Thank you.
You seem to be focused and clear-headed, and that's what we need right now. We need America to just let's look forward. What we have gone through for the last 4 years is really unfortunate, and it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And people just need to do the right thing, and let's get this COVID thing behind us so we can get back to work and start growing our businesses, and some new businesses can start up. I've got 2 or 3 ideas that I'm dying to do, but I can't. I just, that's why.
And I'm very glad that you refer to this place as America. Some people call it the United States, and I don't.
Yeah.
And again, it's because of my perspective. It's literally never been that.
Yeah.
Like the country started off in a heated debate over whether it was cool to own human beings or not. Right. And went to war with itself in less than 100 years of its history because of the same question. And that issue still permeates everything that goes on in America. So this idea of United States is propaganda. It literally has never been that from before day one, and certainly from, when they finally became an official country in 1776. It's never been the United States.
Oh man.
So and these are things that people have to embrace as truth and reality. And one of the things that I was talking about, and I'll end on this note, so I'm not co-opting the whole program, but one of the things, like, I tried to do my best not to be a codger and be like, oh, in my day and kids today and all that kind of stuff. But there is something that I think is demonstrably different about what's happening now in America. Like, even if we take the debate over slavery, right? The one thing that wasn't going on during that time is people denying that slavery existed. Like, up until recently, Americans could settle on what the facts were, right? But now that seems to have disappeared for some reason. Like, you can't even get people to agree that storming the Capitol was a bad thing. You can't get the Blue Lives Matter crowd to agree that they killed a blue life. You know what I mean? Like, this is a bizarre time. So I'm hoping that, podcasts like yours and part of my podcast will be devoted to talking about the politics of today and the issues of today, and really just address society. Like, how does society move forward? Because we all have ideas about what to do, but then the question has to be, how do we do it? How do we get people rowing in the same direction? And we have to start first with agreeing what reality is. If we can't do that, how are we going to move forward?
Yeah, absolutely.
Media ownership.
Well, that's the beginning. Well, Francisco,
no doubt.
by the way, your mic sounds great, by the way. So
I wanted to do this thing right. I had to learn how to be a junior sound engineer, a junior video editor, a graphics editor, because I didn't want to show up like an amateur. And I am an amateur, but I wanted to at least make it so that you weren't sure.
Yeah. Well, see, you can have a great video and your sound sucks. Your show sucks.
Yeah, and conversely, great sound, terrible video. It's not that hard to do it. It just took some work on my part to learn what to do.
Oh, good. And you're committed. It's like putting together a song. If you don't have a song, you could have great lyrics and a track, but until you marry those two together and they really sound good together and complement each other, now you got a song.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you, and stay tuned and come in.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
partner. You be good now.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
That was great.
Yeah.
Good.
Look, let me get this in before we go any further. You're listening to the Street News Now broadcast on Thursday night. We've got the legend, Mr. Lee Michaels, here. We got my brother in broadcasting, Mr. Chris Bass, the boom shakalaka, the Professor Reggie Miles, and myself, Dr. Ron. And we're here each and every Thursday, chopping it up. We just had a guest pop in, so you see how easy it is to get on with us. All you got to do is go to that little duck stream, or StreamYard. I call it duck stream because of the duck, and click on it and come on in. And the legend will let you in and let you have an opportunity to speak with us live on the air. So we are going forward. Are we going to go to Chris now?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Jump on in there, Chris.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I'll take the yield and I'll go on and start the story. So federal officials are privately considering whether it's feasible to charge all the rioters who entered the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. This story is according to the Washington Post. That prompted outrage online from critics wondering if those charged are being coddled because of their race. Story goes on to say the Department of Justice officials estimate 800 people stormed the Capitol and are concerned that charging too many people could swamp the local courthouse. This comes from Rebecca Kavanaugh. She's a New York-based criminal defense attorney. Goes on to say, interesting. I've never heard similar concerns expressed when charging Black and brown people with low-level offenses.
Exactly.
It also goes on to say about the legal proceedings are already underway in cases against the rioters who were arrested days after January 6th, some of whom were damaging evidence against themselves for openly identifying themselves online that took part in the rioting. The defense is a number of cases in placing the blame directly on former President Donald Trump for inciting the crowd to descend on the Capitol, and the filings could come up in the case to convict Trump of his role in the rioting during the upcoming Senate impeachment trial. And she's absolutely correct, Kavanaugh, the defense attorney from New York. The thing about it is, you and all, we know, had it been Black and brown faces, we still would count the bodies that are dead. We would still be counting that right to this day. And so the fact that we saw on January 6th, which I still claim, a official white privilege to enter the Capitol, to storm, as Reggie was saying last week, where the F, is Nancy Pelosi and things like that. You are charged by someone like Trump who gave you that type of mentality. Now, once again, going back to what Reggie said before, race has always been here. He just helped stir the pot some more. That's all that was. And so when you have people of that ilk, of that mindset, who just took upon themselves, and once again, you saw people swinging from the rafters and the side of the Capitol and storming everything else and doing what they want to do because they felt they had the right to. They felt that that privilege was high profile. So now we're stuck with over 800 cases. And I think the Department of Justice, to be completely transparent with you, do not want the paperwork to go through that. So they mentioned before about maybe 100 plus have already been convicted. We talk about 820, you talk about rounding off to damn near 1,000 cases. That's a lot of cases. And so I think they're trying to get out of it by saying, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. I mean, they just came in and just, started a riot. It's not that bad. What
if it was 5,000 people that stormed the Capitol? What would they do then?
Well, they would. I think again, they don't want to do the legwork.
Killed. What would they do? I mean, if they're going to punk out because of the number of people, that sounds like a pretty jive-ass excuse. They're looking for a reason to not do the right thing.
Right.
And Republicans, you will be held accountable.
And back in our day, they used to call that a cop-out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Poor
excuse. I'm sorry, Chris. I had to jump in there and say that.
No. You are correct in your assessment. And everybody, here's the thing. We all know when it comes to us or it comes to the government, the fix is already in. Before we even part our mouth sideways, the fix is already in. They knew they were swamped. They were abundant by all these cases. And it's like, look, man, I don't know about you. I got to go home to my wife tonight, man. What about you? I got to go home and feed my dog. All right, then what are we going to do? All right, then we'll find a way to not do all of these cases. We'll find some, crap excuse. But I don't know about you. I need a life. So I'm telling you, it's probably as basic as that because this is what we're looking at. We're looking at, again, this is historic. This will be in the records for the rest of anybody's life. And they don't want to put the work and the legwork time in because they want to so-called, and once again, let's go back to 74 million people voted for Trump. That mentality. That means they're all over the place. Who's to say the people out with that mentality is not, and they probably are working for the Department of Justice. So look, I don't want to get my hands dirty. I don't want to go through all this. So let's kind of lighten the load and not take it too seriously. So we have to call them out on that because, again, I said from the beginning, the fix is already in.
See, I don't want to start a conspiracy, Chris, but the professor said that he don't believe that Trump got 74 million and he wants a recount.
I go along with that, and again, but see, let's go with the fact. Say it wasn't 74 million. Say, it was another round number you want to guess. What's at stake is all those voters. That's why Ted Cruz and the rest of them are trying to get a piece of that pie because they would run for the presidency down the road in 2024 or trying to find a way to access their brand. So again, the old floaters out there, and you can see to people who go by conspiracy theories, who watch Fox News religiously, and those type of people that just can't get a certain mindset.
All right, now, Chris. Now I love Fox News. Now you don't went too far. 'Cause
Well, you're the one.
at the end of every, when the pundit show is gonna be over, because on every one of the hosts, they always bring somebody black on at the end.
A screaming black man. Yeah, that's the prerequisite. Right. Leo Terrell.
At least we get some. I love that, man.
Leo Terrell.
Happy to see a black man with a job. That's all that is, bro. Because you just want to see a black man with it, even if it's on Fox.
Listen, and they always come in at the last part. I think Juan is the only one that gets in on the beginning. But the rest,
Juan's in front of the bus. He's not on the back of the bus like the rest.
Yeah, because Juan did Eyes on the Prize. That's what he did, that seminal PBS thing. Yeah, so he was in on that. But every time, any other new of the pundits, the new black people that's coming, they even brought out Larry Elder. I said, oh man, him again?
Oh, he retired.
When, they had it on Lou Dobbs. So I said, Lou Dobbs must be getting ready to go off. I don't even look at the time when I'm watching Fox. Because I know when the show is over, when they bring a brother on there. Hannity does that all the time. He always has a brother. Check it out. Listen, people that's listening to us, turn to Fox News at 10 minutes before the hour. And if it's something that's really hot that we really want to talk about, they're going to bring in the screaming black man.
That's right. It's Negro time.
Yeah, it's right. They're gonna bring, and I'm saying, look at this playbook, and there's not enough critical thought to kind of break this mess up. How do they have such a grip on ignorance?
It's easy.
You tell me about that, baby.
To be stupid requires no thought process. When you are stupid, anybody can tell you anything. The sky is green. Yeah, it is. You don't think, you don't question authority, nothing like that. So when you are intelligent or smart, that requires discipline, as far as I'm concerned. But if you're so-called a person that's do throughout your life, everybody can tell you anything, you'll fall for everything. And so that's how certain people are. It's on both sides of the aisle. But what I like about Fox is that they really pander to that. And you mentioned about last week, Reggie, Jason Whitlock. Now that rap bastard, let me tell you about him. Jason Whitlock used to be on Fox Sports 1. He was a sports commentator. And every time that rap bastard was on there, he always lambasted his own people. He lambasted Kobe Bryant. He'll lambaste Michael Jordan. You find the negative. So that was his role on Fox. I didn't really care for that. When I was back at IMS teaching talk radio, I told my students, this is the bastard you don't want to be. It's Jason Whitlock. So now he's reinventing himself, and you say over there at Fox and do that type of stuff. Dude, look, let me tell you something. It's no way in the world you're going to sit there and tell me about people, for example, going back to Kobe Bryant and his misgivings. And we all, went through this stuff with him in Colorado with the rape case and everything else. But he beat that. He went on. He moved on from that. And you want to bring it up because you want to say that the man wasn't perfect. Hell, nobody's perfect. But I don't like people who do that, whether it's him or Gayle King or Mopra's best friend. I don't like people like that because let these people just rest. Whether it's him or Michael Jordan or also, going back to the death of Michael Jackson. And it's easy to talk about the dead because they're not here to defend themselves. And journalists, so-called journalists like that, gets under my skin. That means that you are hit the lowest of low at rock bottom. I'll say this now, and I'll move away and let the panel speak their mind. Real quick, Mopra. I call her Mocha. Everybody calls her mother Oprah, so I call her Mopra. So Mopra Winfrey and Gayle King had exalted themselves to these type of high-profile journalism. So we had Gayle King had an interview with Lisa Leslie, former WNBA star, who was close friends with Kobe Bryant. So she talked about Kobe Bryant's misgivings in Colorado. Lisa Leslie sidestepped that and went on to move forward. Then Mopra had a show on HBO, Leaving Neverland, about these two men who said they were molested by Michael Jackson. This is the same woman who back in the day, Michael Jackson, his high time, brought her into his home. Brought her into the home and did the interview for ABC and everything else. So it's like you forget all the stuff that happened when these people were alive, but now that they're dead, you want someone to have a so-called record. And you will go people who molested people, or people have misgivings. Then you have to interview Matt Lauer, you got to interview Charlie Rose, but see, they're white, or Harvey Weinstein, they're white. You don't want to touch them.
Yeah,
So, I'm done.
yeah, I see that, and I'm with that. But you know what happened? Yeah, get me Oprah on the phone. Hey, Oprah, how you doing? This is what we need. Yeah, you know it's coming up, and so we don't want necessarily want him going out on a high like that. So we need you to find something. Hey, we need you to do that. So you go ahead on. Well, look, don't even worry about it. If you want an extension on kind, all that's coming. But this is what we need you to do now. Okay. Oh, it's fine. Whatever you do, it's fine. Just do that. Just do that for the team. And that's how that go, man. It's a phone call. Because I really don't think, if you don't have the power, if you're not the distributor of the content, you understand? It's like some of our greatest people, in my mind, can be compared to an organ grinder with a monkey.
Oh, yeah.
You understand, there's always somebody that can call you in. Because Oprah was retiring for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, we need you to go a couple of more years. Don't worry about it. You got a little extra money, but you can't retire right now. Simple phone call.
Yeah.
King Brothers. So we want to hail a whole lot of stuff, but you're not seeing nobody saying anything to to the boy Buffett, are you? Ain't nobody coming up on Gates.
Right. Yeah. Classic double standard.
Yeah, nobody's coming up on them cats, and they got all the money, but folk can get in Miss Winfrey's face.
Yeah.
And then you ain't got as much money as her, so you can't say nothing. It's like, just because you got a whole lot of money, being a person of color, there's always some elite that got more money than you.
Always.
So they're gonna pull your chain.
I know a whole lot of ignorant, wealthy people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't have common sense.
There you go.
I'm not gonna call no names, but y'all know who he is.
Mm.
I don't know just how wealthy he is anymore.
Yeah. It's not common no more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I don't, man. And then they set Gail out, right? And they set Gail out to do her thing and stuff. And then, when she get the backlash, then they gotta build a little fence around her, because on that Lisa Leslie thing, they was like, we was getting ready to chew her up, or to throw her in with the piranhas, and she was gonna be nothing but bone, because people was ready to eat her alive, over what she did. And then she said, oh, it was the editors. Well, I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had that agenda, but they gave you the script to set it up. They put it on you in a journalistic fashion, and you played your part to the T.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they knew how they was gonna cut that answer up already.
Yeah,
they knew that.
We don't know her contract, obviously, because Gail could have like last editing rights in her contract when it was her stories. So we don't know that either. So she could put on, editing, but hell, you could be the main editor. Try to put the heat off of your ass.
And so she still got the call. I think I need you to, handle that, because we can't have it coming out like that. I understand. Would you go ahead?
While you're at it, order me a Chicago style pizza while you're at it.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And be quick about it.
So that's why it's really important. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna keep saying this. I like Fox, ONA. I like every other type of network that exists. I love them all. Okay? I like every other type of network that exists. I Was that me? Okay, good. Shoot, I'm like, where's this noise coming from? So what I want to see is another street news now, because as our guest spoke about, said, he said it's a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
We need to have our own perspective consistently out there, so we don't have to be bombarded with the liberals, the progressives, or what we need to have a black. To be bombarded with the liberals, the progressives, or what? Not me, is it?
That's the legend over there messing with you.
Oh, okay. Oh, playing me back.
What am I doing? I have my mic off.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, y'all gonna make me play drunk president. So y'all better
Don't play.
Look, we are listening. You are listening to Street News Now. Each and every Thursday, we are here chopping it up, bringing the news as we see it, giving our commentaries as we see it. We got the legend, Mr. Lee Michaels, my brother in broadcasting, Mr. Chris Bays. We got the professor, Reggie Miles, and myself, Dr. Ron. And I'm going to jump in now. I got a report that I submitted. See, Reggie going to comment on this one too, I know. We had, in this year alone, we have had a rise in carjacking in the city of Chicago. And I know everybody all across the country see this, and you need to hear it coming from us because, you know, we live in Chicago. We see this each and every day. They keep giving us this story about all these kids running out here carjacking in gas stations, restaurants, everywhere, all over the place. And, you know, me and Lee were talking earlier this week, and I was telling him, I said, you know, they're not carjacking cars for money or profit. That's not something that they're doing. When they go to investigate what's going on with these carjackings, they're finding out that it's a lot of young kids with guns that are jacking people of all ages, all colors. There's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. They're taking a car from one crime scene and going to another crime scene and doing another carjacking and keep on going. Well, back in the day, and you know, I got to go back a little bit on y'all. When they used to steal a car back in the day, they used to take it to a place called a chop shop, and they would have orders for parts for that car. Okay, and then it would roll in. Then the next time you see that car, it would probably just be on wheels sitting in an abandoned lot somewhere. Okay, so they were doing stealing of automobiles for profit. It was money in it. Okay, fast forward to the 2010s or whatever, when professional car thieves steal a car, they drive it onto a freight container and it gets on the ship and goes overseas somewhere, never to be seen again. And somebody gets paid for that automobile going on that container. Okay. That is for profit. Okay. Once again, somebody is getting paid for that automobile. What these kids are doing now is not related to any income stream whatsoever. If they steal your car on 87th Street, they might go down on 79th Street and jack another car, and then go from 79th Street to 63rd and jack another car with the one that they just stole. So it's totally insane that they don't have any rational understanding on what's going on. Now, when Lee and I were talking, I said, you know, I put my own opinion, nobody else's. I think it has something to do with some type of initiation of some type, you know, to some organization that they might be trying to get themselves into. So they're stealing cars, jumping across town, right behind each other. If they got 3 people in the car, it must be the responsibility of all 3 people to steal at least one car at gunpoint. And that's what they're doing. You know, and people are getting hurt. You know, white folks are scared. Okay. Now, so, you know, they really trying to do something about it, but they don't know what to do. You know, they don't know how to approach this. So all of these unsolved carjackings, just as recently as today, they arrested 2 people. Well, 2 people ain't stole all them cars in Chicago. I can tell you all that now. Not the same 2 people, okay? They've only arrested 2 people, 2 juveniles for carjacking, okay? Since January started, okay? So
now, Ron, what is happening with it? They just get out of the cars, leave it, and go get another one?
yeah, usually what happens is when they jack a car, they'll use that car to go jack somebody else's car. So like I said, if they steal your car on 79th Street, they'll go down to 87th Street, and they'll use the car that they just stole to go jack another car. So they're repeatedly in one night jacking cars, one right behind the other. Okay, and then when they through with the cars, they just leave them.
Insane.
Yeah, it's and I can tell you without with confidence, I should say, the police don't know what to say or do about this. Okay, they are totally lost. Okay, as well as the current administration.
Do you think they care?
Yeah, because like I said, just a minute ago, white folks are getting their cars jacked. They upset. You can't keep stealing from white folks and they not do something about it eventually. Yeah, I said that, white folks. Because the quickest way to get something solved or start a task force, which they did, okay, is you start stealing from white folks. Now, oh no, we can't have this in Chicago, and they start dealing with it, from a task force perspective. Mm-hmm. So, I just wanted to put that information out there. Yeah, we got trouble in the streets of Chicago, especially when it comes to carjacking.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it, there was a story about an off-duty police officer who got carjacked as well. Mm-hmm. So it took a whole new precedence. The only thing that's I guess is somewhat of a light in all this, that these people have not been shot and killed, which usually goes along with carjacking. It's like you said before, it's like it's fun with some of these teenagers or young people. They're not doing it to kill, they're doing it for sport. So from that perspective, at least we don't have a body count of people losing their lives over cars.
That's true. If there's a bright side, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I hope they get a grip on it and clean up Chicago. Chicago is a great town, but it's losing its honor, if you will, and respect. Tourism. I mean, the COVID has a lot to do with it too, but it's a mess. And who do you hold responsible? I mean,
well, when has
you got to look at the local government.
When has Chicago not been a mess?
Well, it's gotten worse though. I'm not talking about just the weather, but it hasn't gotten any better. I mean, I've been going in and out of Chicago since 1976.
That's right, but it's worse than when Capone and them was doing their thing.
I don't know if it was worse. It's bigger now.
Right.
I think more crime.
And then the race wise in the city.
Yeah.
It's reminds me of a song. Everything reminds me of a song. Reverend Dr. DJ. Willie Hutch. Brothers gonna work it out. So where's the big brothers in this? It was a lot of times when I grew up in Chicago, and if we got out of pocket, and the older cats didn't like that, we got checked. Yeah. We got checked right away. So there's what happened to the rite of passage with the brothers, with the young brothers now, and I I don't want to blame it all. I don't want to blame it all on them, or like my guy, I guess, said, I don't want to get into this thing where I'm just saying everything young people all this, because they didn't birth themselves. Billy Preston made a song. He said, "Nothing
from nothing leaves nothing."
So if it ain't nothing going on with them, they mustn't have nothing put in them.
Right.
And you can follow up that song with "We Go Round in Circles." That's what we're doing.
That's exactly right. So I'm in agreement with you, Ron. It's whatever they doing, but we got to give them a new game to play.
Exactly.
Because when I was a youngin', right, I was dealing with 16-inch softball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hump. I'm gonna throw that hump.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the app? What about the programs? Other programs for these cats now? If you tell them about being on the team, they're like, ain't no money in that.
I got a quick question. Hold that before you run out of here. I got a question to all these scholars on the panel. Does anybody know who Ronald McNair is?
Oh yeah,
Ronald McNair, yeah.
Ronald, you say Ronald McNair?
Ronald McNair.
Yeah, he was the spaceman. I mean, he was the astronaut that he from North Carolina A&T.
Yes.
What else do you want to know?
It was the anniversary
of the Challenger
today. Got to get that in before we get off. Now you can leave.
And farewell to Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, sister. You did a good job.
Yes.
Dr. McNair was a physicist, man.
Yes. Yes.
He's a physicist.
Scholars. All these scholars. Yes.
He's a heavyweight physicist.
Yes.
Good night, y'all.
On the Black Man on the Challenger today. Yes.
SNN Street News Now.
Come on.
Are we done?